What's up, everybody? This is Shane from Washington Wine and Spirits. We're coming to you from the tasting room here in the shop. I'm sitting with Gareth here. He is a brand ambassador for Jameson Irish Whiskey. Of course, March is right around the corner, and of course, our favorite American Irish holiday is St. Paddy's Day. And so, Gareth, take us through what do we have on the table today?
So, Shane, today we have a variety of products. We have the new Jameson Caskmates, which we'll touch on first, but we have some of the higher marks of Irish whiskey as well. We've got the Maker series, what we're calling it. We've got some of the Jameson family to take you through as well.
Wonderful.
So I don't know if there's any of these products that you've tried yourself before.
I've had all of them.
Of course you have. Good start. But for anyone that hasn't, we'll talk through pretty much everything that needs to be known at a baseline, so you can all have an understanding of what these products are leading up to
Wonderful.
St. Patrick's Day.
So take us through. I know we have first here, we have the Jameson IPA Caskmates.
We do, and what I'll do is I'll probably look at these side by side. So we have the Stout Edition Caskmates, which is the original one, and we have the IPA, which is the newer one in the series. But for the one that maybe people will know more so far at the moment is the Stout Edition. So
Absolutely.
the original Caskmates, right? So basically the story is, I'm not sure if you're familiar with it, probably, we partnered up with a craft brewery in Ireland, and the two guys, the master brewer for them and our master distiller, met up at a bar, had a conversation over a pint of whiskey, as you do, you know yourself.
Right.
And it was like, can we have some of your Jameson barrels? We want to make a barrel-aged beer.
Right.
We were like, yeah, you got to come and get them yourself. So we made the guys come to the distillery and grab the barrels. The brewery's about 30 minutes away. It's a local craft brewery called Franciscan Well. They do some great beers, definitely recommend them. But what we said was, yeah, come get the barrels yourself, barrel age your beer on one condition: we want our barrels back at the end of it. So our guys had this sort of plan in place that was like, we're going to take those barrels back and we're going to see what we can do with them.
Right.
So we brought them back to our warehouse. We put some normal Jameson into those barrels for about 6 months. And from that, like, a lot of people are thinking, oh, it's a stout matured whiskey, I don't like stout. And a lot of people get that.
Right.
But what it did was it took all the great flavors from stout. It took the milk chocolate, the coffee, those sort of darker flavors, and then kind of put it into the normal Jameson, which is a very smooth product anyway, very well balanced. But this time we're touching on very trendy, sort of popular flavors.
It was a delicious product, and of course it still is. That marry with the cask created this beautiful flavor. You do get that milk chocolate, and I think when you mix it with the flavors, the base flavors of Jameson, it was a beautiful complement. It creates an extremely smooth, easy to drink product, but those flavors, those chocolate, and there's a touch of toffee to me, and caramel, all those flavors meld so perfectly, I think, with Jameson Irish Whiskey. And that leads into, so what led to the creation of the IPA Caskmate?
I mean, quite simply because stout was such a success. Not only in the US, but around the world, the stout product quickly became our second biggest seller, apart from the normal Jameson. So it was a case of, our research kind of showed that a very high percentage, about 95% of people that bought Caskmates Stout Edition or that drank it were craft beer drinkers. And it was like, okay, well, if there's a category in craft beer that we're going to try to mix our whiskey with now, what's it going to be?
IPA.
It's going to be IPA. And as much as it kind of became a trend within whiskey to kind of look at different sort of flavors and things, we don't add any sugars or any sweeteners or anything like that. This is just whiskey that's matured with beer. So it was like, okay, IPA, super popular. Within craft beer, what's the hottest category in craft beer? It is IPA.
It absolutely is.
So for us, it was an experiment. I told you before, I knew that this product was kind of coming down the pipeline while Stout was being launched.
Right.
But we didn't know how good it was going to be and how well it was going to launch. So when we launched it, and I got to try it for the first time, I was blown away by how smooth it was.
It's fantastic. I didn't know what to expect because IPAs are very well known for you're using bittering hops to a large extent, and there's this huge bitter note, of course, to an IPA. And I was somewhat concerned. I was like, what is that going to do to Jameson? And it was so surprisingly smooth and so easy drinking. And those floral notes from hops and those citrus notes, I felt they really complemented everything. There's no added bitterness. It's just a little bit of like orange blossom, and then you get some of that kind of orange peel to it, along with some of those really nice floral piney notes that you can get, but without that bitterness that you expect from an IPA. And so I think if you're looking for something a little different that has a unique flavor that's still very much whiskey, it's very much tastes like a great whiskey, I think the IPA Caskmates is spectacular.
Absolutely, and just to add to that, I think, as I said with stout, it extracts great flavors from the beer without being beer intensive. So if you're not an IPA fan, and a lot of people that I've spoken to, they either love IPAs or they hate IPAs. The whiskey takes great flavors from the IPA. You spoke about the citrus, the orange, the sort of maybe even grapefruit citrus that's within it, and puts it nicely within your normal 80 proof Jameson whiskey, and kind of gives you an opportunity to bounce it off. Not only an IPA, something like maybe an APA or a wheat beer.
Absolutely.
Well. It appeals to the wider spectrum of craft beer drinkers now that we have
I think most people would find surprising. I honestly think that both of these are excellent dessert whiskeys. Like, as a whiskey to have with dessert, they are spectacular. I think the IPA is brilliant with cheesecake. Those citrus flavors complement all that cream and that vanilla to create something beautiful. But to the same token, I think the Caskmates goes with a cheesecake. But on a simple note of, say you're just sitting down to an evening and you want a small square of dark chocolate, these are perfect whiskeys to go with that. Because if you have the stout Caskmate, those coffee, those caramel flavors, those chocolate flavors that are there, obviously go, and there's enough power there to cut through the bitterness of the dark chocolate. And then the same thing applies here, but you get more if you have, like, on a basic level, if you were to go to town, you can find Blent Intense Orange, which is dark chocolate with orange rind and little bits of candied orange in there. This with just standard dark chocolate will create a similar effect. And I think that's a beautiful thing to have that a lot of people don't recognize, and I don't think a lot of people think especially that Irish whiskey can be paired with desserts. A beautiful after dinner drink.
Totally, I totally agree with you. I mean, when you said cheesecake there, that's not necessarily something I've tried, but got pretty excited by that straight away. I was like, yeah.
Cheesecake
and like
is
the
amazing.
variety of flavors are the kind of, from the fruity to the chocolatey and the kind of obvious dessert flavors, there is something that can kind of be paired with a dessert selection.
Absolutely, and nothing's better than sitting down, I think, after a meal and sharing a nice glass of whiskey.
Oh, yeah.
And so these, I think, are just perfect after dinner drinks.
100%.
And so